Λοιπόν, hello everybody. This is podcast number 2 of Tennis Related. I'm Christos. This one we were requested to do it in English. So since there's a lot of feedback to be taken from Mr. Fiotakis here, we're gonna do that in English, and hopefully we can answer a lot of questions. We can have like a small chat, and then hopefully we have fun for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time for coming to this. I know you're on vacation, so it means a lot for me to come on this podcast.
It's always a pleasure. We spent some really good times the last couple of years, and we had a really good time this year in Australia. So it's always a pleasure it's always a pleasure for me to give education to everybody. That's why I love sharing a lot of my things online, because I just think that education is for everybody. It's not a secret. Of course, there is recipes in training, but education from my studies, and because I have a background in studies in the US, I think that all the coaches that I met, they were quite open, and everybody helped me to be where I am today. And I think I'm learning every day, and knowledge is the most important thing we can have in our life.
I totally agree on that. Every day, if you keep learning, it's even small stuff about fitness, about tennis, about recovery, about all that kind of stuff, it makes you a better player. And in the passage of time, I think adding just a 0.1% every day or every couple days, it's going to help you reach to a better level.
100%. I agree with
you. I've prepared some sort of an interview, but we also have some questions live from my Instagram. So we're just going to start, and then we'll just pretty much cover everything we have. So what brings you currently in August in beautiful Athens, Greece?
Well, I always love Athens. Since I was a teenager, I was coming to Athens to train with the national team of track and field. So I made a lot of friends, and Athens became my second home. Like, my first home is Hania, Crete. That's where I grew up. But because of sports, the national center was here in Athens, and so I spent a lot of time here in Athens, and I feel it like as my second home. My wife, I met her here in Athens, in the south of Athens, in Glyfada, and she lives in Vouliagmeni, which now I have a home, and it's my holiday home. So always when I come to Greece, I want to come to Vouliagmeni and Varkiza, which I feel like home.
I gotta say, Vouliagmeni is one of the nicest places in Athens for people who haven't been.
Look at this tennis club behind us.
Tennis club is amazing here.
It's just priceless. No?
Unfortunately, we only have one camera, but if we had more, we'd probably show that landscape. But it's an amazing club here at Kavouri Tennis Club. Thank you. We appreciate them letting us do the podcast here, obviously. Okay, tell us a little bit about your story. Let's take it back a little bit, say a decade ago. So how do you become...
It's definitely more than a decade.
Yeah, just a decade to make it better, you know? You're like 30, right?
No, I'm 45.
Okay, how do you become so knowledgeable in the sports business? Like, how did it start, that whole thing?
I think that always I was just trying to do something like different, and I always love to focus on detail. And I was always interested in kinesiology, and always I was like fascinated in sports science, and because I'm a track and field athlete, I just always wanted to see what I was doing wrong when I was running. So I just focus a lot in biomechanics, and I think definitely I do have a good eye on that. So definitely. I think that what I is not only knowledge, because you can have a lot of knowledge, but is practice and application of my knowledge and what I'm learning every day, and feedback that I collect from athletes, because it's all about feedback, you know.
100%.
I can give an advice to somebody which it will work, and to some other player it will not work, or some other athlete. So I think a mixture of passion of what I'm doing, and being very open-minded, and always trying to absorb information like a sponge, and not just be stuck up and think that it's just my opinion, that's the way it is, that's what science says. I just been always open-minded, and a lot of times I try to apply things to myself as an athlete. Even I was a master athlete when I became a coach, before I apply them to somebody else. So I just understand that something makes sense before I give it to you.
I think this is actually very important, an important attribute for someone, and I understand more now how have you've been so successful with different sports athletes, and how you talked about application. How do you apply that fitness in so many different sports? So I think what you said, being a sponge and adapting into every different sport, I think is actually the main reason why you've been so successful so far with your athletes.
So it just basically is that, you need to understand the body mechanic chain, and then you just see a sport and you see that, like, somebody who is playing basketball, when he's gonna step and jump, which kinetic chain is gonna use, where is gonna take his energy, how he's gonna where this energy is gonna finish, and how he will control his body to not over rotate, or like many different, we have, our body is multi-planar, so we need to understand some of these things. And when all this, you analyze all this step by step, and then a lot of times is I ask people, so I ask athletes, what do you think about that? How you feel when you do this? And you know very well that when I gave you exercises, you, Stefanos, or all the national team, when I work for the Davis Cup, I told you, I give you an exercise, and isn't this make sense when you do a running forehand? And I wait for your feedback to tell me, yes, it completely makes sense. If somebody has to tell me, yeah, but Chris, when you're running there, is this? I'll tell you, yes, but maybe this exercise is to strengthen you. It's not a footwork exercise. It's to strengthen your quadricep and get the deceleration. It's not about footwork. Footwork is a completely different game. So everything that I think that I'm trying to do, I'm not perfect. Definitely I'm not perfect, and I'm always trying to improve. But everything that I try to do is that I always try to see it in a 3D view. And always try to fix and adjust,
This, I've seen this multiple times where you would give us like an exercise, for example, in Australia or in Dubai, and we do it first set, second set, and then third set, you're like, okay, try to add this into this exercise. So you're adapting while we're performing the exercise.
Exactly.
So that's what you're talking about. So college, you went to college at UCLA. What did you study there?
I studied sports science. I had a bachelor's in physical education, and then I decided to study sports science, something that in 2004 when I graduated, it was not something very popular, when you said sports science in Europe, when coming back in 2004, like people said, what is sports science, like
something newer.
It was something. So I really, my focus always was more in strength and conditioning, and mostly in sports that they have to do with quickness and reaction and speed on the floor. So I think I'm quite good to make people faster, more agile, more powerful, mostly in the sport. So if somebody tomorrow told me, come and train a top swimmer, sorry, I don't have knowledge because I don't know anything about water, So it will be really, not that I will not try, but maybe I will try, but I don't think it's my expertise to do something like this.
And you went from track and field, being a track and field athlete. I read online that your time in 100 meters was what, 10:50?
10. My best time with unfortunately it was with a little bit of wind. It was 10:27.
10:27. So you went from track and field 100 meters. And then after college you transitioned into rugby.
I transitioned. Well, I came here trying to make the Olympic team in 2004. Unfortunately, I was not, that good. I maybe had a little bit too much pressure. I was working as an athlete, like full time, kind of like night job, like in a restaurant. So I cannot say that I had the best. It was not so easy to train 6-7 hours and work at night. So like maybe I think I was trying a little bit too hard, and I had nobody to help me psychologically. Psychologically, everybody thought that I'm quite strong.
Yeah.
So I think maybe some micro adjustments could have helped me, but that's life, and that's where I'm now. That I took the chance to play rugby, and luckily I got scouted to play in England. I made my trial in England, and then I made it professional, and I played in England and France, and I had a decent career for somebody who started rugby at 24 and 25 years old. He networked me. He gave me a huge network around the world, and he gave me completely new opportunities, and he opened new doors for me to be where I am today.
So touching on that, you said rugby gave you a big opportunity to network and all that stuff. You've worked with elite athletes from many different sports. I mean, I don't know every single one of them. You can name some, but I know you've worked with drivers, you've worked with horse riders, tennis players, rugby teams. So can you name some of the athletes first? And then the follow-up question will be, how you said you need to adjust into create like a program for a specific athlete.
Yeah.
But how can you work with multiple different clients, say it, and then at the same time, say for example, in the morning you have a horse rider, you do his fitness, and then in the afternoon, since you're maybe back home in Monaco, you can work with someone who is not an athlete. How do you adjust? How do you go from up here, high level, to like down here, but have the same intensity?
So I think that's an interesting question, but there's a lot of times that I miss coming back to my normal clients, because all of them, I have the privilege to choose my clients nowadays, and all of them, they really want to improve for themselves. So, I mean, all of them, they're a little bit mini athletes at their level. So it's not like just clients who say, I just want to get a six-pack, or I just want to get a booty. Like they're people that they really want to get fit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them that after 3-4 months that we start together, they're like, oh my God, now I understand why you didn't give me this exercise that I saw on the video, never these 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I was not capable of doing it. So it's building these people that after a couple of months to say, wow, that's me. Like being an athlete, like being able to have a really good relative strength, to be able to carry your body weight, be able to go to play tennis, play basketball, carry your kids, run around, play beach volleyball, carry your groceries from the store and feel good, It's not about I think that people understand nowadays how it's important to be healthy, fit, and how to be athletic fit.
Very true.
So I think it's turning back for these people that I have, that I work 10 years with. I think the next 20 years, if I can, and I'm there and they're there, I will be with them, They're these kind of people that they will say, I want 4 times a week to feel good, to do my mobility program, to do my strength program, to do my sport specific. Okay, I want to go skiing, the other guy do water ski, the other guy play tennis or paddle, whatever, they do some, so like, but I think it's the beauty, because with athletes, you have a very, very big risk when you train them, which is a huge challenge for a coach, but you have a risk. So when you have a risk, you need to really know what you're doing and commit to take this risk, because in my opinion, performance doesn't come from comfort zones,
Yes.
So you got to push somebody to perform. An injury is into the game. It's in the game, sorry. But it depends the injury, You can have a micro like a tear or something. It's in the game, Or you can have like a contraction or something like this, which is in the game. But if the injury is heavy, then it just derail you. So you need to find that balance.
Yeah. How much you train?
How much and how, and this is actually, I think, the quality of a trainer, to find the balance. How is gonna push somebody to the red, keeping them healthy. Because now I think nowadays the fashion is prevention.
Yeah.
Everybody do prevention, and we let performance quite behind in certain sports. Okay?
Yeah.
What I learned and how I like to work is that I'm a performance coach. So I'm searching for performance.
Yeah.
I'm not a physiotherapist. Okay? And of course I have knowledge of a physiotherapist, but I'm not. So my approach is a lot more aggressive to performance
Rather
than coming from physiotherapy, from prevention,
yeah.
re-education of the athlete, and like rehab, you know. So I'm opposite.
I have to add something here because now you say it. I remember that in Australia, Stefanos had a little bit of like an injury in his lower back, and I remember the physio was working on his back, and then some of the days he didn't feel good. So then you took initiative and you said, you know what? Let me work with you with the mobility and like get everything warmed up.
Yeah, everything working
with some
together, like get
fitness
the kinetic
before.
chain and get
actually,
the core
actually
strong.
this helped
Yeah, of course.
helped him compete and then actually play in the tournament.
If you ask any sports doctor in the world, he will tell you that the best rehabilitation of an athlete is strength training.
100%.
Okay?
100%.
A physio can help maximum 10%.
Yeah.
But if the athlete cannot train, then he can do the physio.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Very true.
But of course, I respect the physios and they're part of our works. And when I feel that I need the physio, I have the physio with me. And I want the physio to be involved because when you want to do something professionally, you should not mix everything together.
Yeah.
I stick to performance and I want to have a physio that I trust. And when something is wrong, the physio take initiative and the physio give me guidance of what to do.
Yeah.
But I think when I have a healthy athlete, it's better not to do too much prevention. I think prevention, 10 minutes a day, it's enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
On top of mobility and stretching.
Exactly.
Okay.
10 minutes is enough.
I wanted you to name some of the athletes that you've worked with, just like in general, like say, for example, their name, their sport, just so people have like some sort of understanding of what you do and with who have you worked.
So I worked many years in Ferrari with Felipe Massa, and I follow Felipe Massa until after his accident in Formula One. All the way we came back. We had some good seasons with Ferrari, and then I ended up all the way. I went to Williams, and then we finished in Venturi in Formula E. Mm-hmm. So Felipe quit, and then he went back to Brazil. But in the same time, I had some. I was already working with Charles Leclerc
when he was young.
When he was super young,
Okay.
He was already in Formula 3 back then. And I worked with some WRC champions driving for Hyundai, Thierry Neuville and Andreas Mikkelsen.
Okay.
I worked with Jerome D'Ambrosio. I worked with Luca Di Grassi, that he's still in Formula E. I worked with... my first tennis player was Marta Kostyuk.
Ukrainian girl.
Ukrainian.
Okay.
She's an amazing player. She was number 1 and number 2 junior when we started working together. We worked with Marta for a while. We worked through COVID. It was a really good challenge, a good experience. And then some things we didn't agree. And like we still good friends, but that's how life. She moved on. I think she's doing quite good lately.
She's doing great. Yes.
And I'm wishing the best for her. And then from other sport, I had a really good 400-meter sprinter from Belgium, Sami Hennen. He was a pretty big talent, and I was hoping a lot for him, but unfortunately, economic situation could not let him to stay in Monaco and train with me.
Okay.
I was trying to support him, and he was working on the side, but it was really tough. The federation didn't want him to stay in Monaco to train with me. So
where was he from?
He was from Belgium.
Belgium. Okay, you said.
Yeah,
that.
he was a really amazing athlete. I think he could have. We ran together a 47, 400 meters. I think he would have been an amazing 400-meter hurdle. The guy was like super talented.
Yeah.
He was like 17 years old. His brother was a footballer for Monaco.
Okay.
Youth. So unfortunately, he had to follow the brother, and he couldn't stay with me. Actually, it was always a dream for me to train a track and field athlete, to take him from zero to hero.
Yeah.
But it has not happened yet. But I think one day.
One day it'll happen.
I think one day I will have a track athlete, and this is the dream. You know, I've been to the Olympics with Stefanos, so I've done my experience as a coach in the Olympics. But I would really like to bring a track and field athlete into the Olympics. That is my dream.
Yeah. So a small thing here. Both my parents were track and field athletes, and they were friends with some people that Christos was training. So we kind of knew each other, but until we met, we were like, not really. Like, my dad is like super close with Christos Meletoglu, triple jump, and I think you were like, you were at the same place you were training?
Yeah, we were same place. I was a bit younger than Christos,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. So we kind of know each other for like a long time. We just never probably met. Okay, so you worked with all these athletes. Recently, you worked with Stefanos for a certain period. Stefanos, good friend of mine, good friend of yours. One of the best tennis players, the best tennis player from Greece, one of the best tennis players in the world, super talented, super tough, currently playing a match right now in Cincinnati, I think.
Yeah, he's playing against Struff in Cincinnati at the
moment.
So,
just touching on that, you toured with Stefanos. I've been on the tour with him. I've been on the tour by myself. There are like a lot of struggles on the tour. For example, traveling. Doesn't matter what level you play, the traveling part is probably the toughest one for me, because you have to get from country to another, adjust, time zones, live from your family. Now, obviously, I don't have my own family, but I have my parents and my sister. Yeah. I don't see them, for example, for 2 months. I remember one time when we were in Australia and I came to Dubai. I met you there on the 24th. Yeah. And then until...
8 weeks.
We're 8 weeks, but then until we came back
I came back to Greece
team,
with
national
Steph,
team.
And I just stayed a couple of the more days because his back was not feeling well. And so I stayed more, here. And then I just kind of like said I cannot be in the national team because I really need to go home. It's not possible. It's been 8 weeks on the road.
I didn't see my family for such a long time, and like I remember when we came for that, we were staying at the hotel. That's actually a very funny story because we did Dubai, we did Australia for a month. Then we come back. There's national team. We sleep in the hotel. After national team, I had 2 army days, and then I traveled to go play tournaments for 6 weeks. So actually, from 24th of December until 3rd of March, I didn't sleep on my bed. That's like 3 months that I was sleeping just in hotels.
Really long. That's really
in hotels or B&Bs or whatever.
And imagine me, I have 3 kids.
Yeah, so. That's what I'm saying. So being on the tour is like super challenging.
It's really challenging.
What's like a big challenge besides traveling when you're being on the tour for such a long time? I know you have kids and everything, but what's something that you like and something that you don't like?
You know what? I love tennis. I love the intensity of the game, and I think that I'm one of the coaches and the people out there that I don't really stress when the game is on.
Yeah.
I have adrenaline, definitely, but I don't stress because I know that I've done everything from my side for the athlete to be there. So then it's definitely not in my hands anymore. Mm-hmm. The only thing I can do is just give my positive energy and believe in that athlete. So I'm not gonna stress, and I'm not really afraid of failure, but I just cannot stand not trying.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care about losing or winning, but I want
effort.
I want to see the effort. When I see the effort, I'm satisfied. Because when there is effort, then slowly you can see improvement.
Yeah.
Okay, because the other player is good as well. You're not playing
100%,
alone. You know,
100%.
it's not like you're running 100 meters. You just play tennis. You can play really good, and the other guy play a bit better. He's a bit luckier, and he can win. That doesn't matter. The toughest thing for me on tour is that, first of all, whoever knows me on tour, I'm super friendly. I say hello to everybody. I kind of have like some friends on tour, but you just feel it's like a little bit of a war zone there. You know, like you just feel that vibe. Like, you know, you are in that team, I'm in that team. And I mean, it's really strange for me coming from other sports. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even coming from track and field, that we are all friends. And like even coming from rugby, that we just get there like so much testosterone, so many tackles, so many hits, and after you finish the game and you just like everybody's just together. You know, the guys have a beer together. Me, I'm not really the guy who will have a beer, but I'm always gonna hang there and like congratulate my opposition. And after we all gonna be friends, no matter what club you play, no matter what national team you play. And I just feel
In tennis, it's different.
in tennis there's just this tension, you know, like, and this is like the other thing that I don't like in tennis is that everybody thinks that they know everything.
Yeah.
I don't see. So if you see like say an American track and field coach that is worked in a certain periodization model for his athletes,
Yeah.
and he works for Texas A&M, and then he's gonna see the other coach that they're friends from college, from UCLA, and they all sit down and they say, George, you know what, I've been doing this with Darryl, and his work there and this microcycle and whatever, and then I just saw a dip in his performance and this. What do you think about this periodization? What are you doing with your boys there?
So what you're saying is that the people, they share feedback so they can get better. But in tennis, what happens
No.
is that nobody shares feedback
No.
because if I'm in a different team from you, I share feedback that it's gonna make you think, oh, maybe he uses that to my, like when
Yeah.
we play against each other, or maybe he uses that to get his player better, and then maybe his player beats me.
Exactly.
So there's a big opposition on the tour, which actually, to be fair, it happens not just on the pro tour. It happens on the future circuit. It happens on the junior circuit. You see, like people, I know players that are like, for example, 16, 15, that they do not train together, even if they're like the only people in Athens or in Thessaloniki, whatever.
So not to play.
So they don't actually see each other how they play, because it's a very selfish sport.
And then I have people that they tell me, that's my best friend. I'm like, that's your best friend? I'm like, you know, like they speak for 2 days, and after in the next tournament, because there is a chance for them to play on the third round, they just barely say hello. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you serious? Like, I mean, I think this is really unhealthy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I've expressed this to some people that I know in the tour, and I said, this is something that I don't really like, you know. And I mean, unfortunately, tennis doesn't have a normal life.
It does not. No,
It doesn't have a normal
it's
life.
draining.
okay?
Being on the tour is draining, and not only, I mean, I'm lucky enough that I've experienced both the ITF Futures Tour, and I've experienced a little bit of the Challenger with Petros, but I've also experienced some Grand Slams with Stefanos and Petros. It
Yeah, but-
happens everywhere,
But
everywhere.
you're lucky because you experienced
100%.
university tennis in the
I
States.
was literally gonna just say that because
So you had a normal life.
So what happens is that college tennis, actually, I was gonna say that it helped me because I was in the same team with another 14 guys, but we're all playing together. So what happens is in practice, we try to help each other. In matches, I don't care. Say for example, you're the number 3 guy, I'm the number 7 guy. So technically, if you're not healthy or you don't play well, you might get out of the lineup and I get to play. But I don't care about that because
You
I
just care to win.
Exactly. I much rather
As a
have you
team.
play as a team and win than me personally
Struggle.
getting in to go and play. You know. So I think college tennis really helped me. It was one of the few things that it helped me maturing my game and understanding that you can do better without the opponent do worse or your friend
of course,
do worse.
you have a normal life. You know, you're gonna go to a party. You're gonna meet some friends. You're gonna go to the movies. you're gonna sleep back in the dorm with all the others or whatever in a home, and you're gonna go to school, and you're gonna have a normal life.
Yeah.
You know, and plus, when you're in college, don't forget that you have to take care of your things, responsibilities, which is your bills,
classes,
your home, you know, to prepare food for you to eat and everything, you know. You're not,
yeah.
it's not about, you know, like living the bubble, you know.
Yeah.
Because some guys, they just start to make it when they're 16, 17, and from them, they're just hitting a ball of tennis, and they just think life is difficult because they hit a ball of tennis. Sorry, but that's not true. Like, you know, I left to the States when I was 18, you know, and I had tough times, you know, like it's been times that for a week I had $10 and I had to break through it.
I've been on that struggle.
Because I did some stupid things, you know.
Even though
like,
my parents were like super helpful when I was in the US, I've also been in the same situation where you gotta get through a week with like no money, where you're just cooking, for example, pasta.
Whatever, you know.
Or you
like,
can go out, like one of your friends is paying and then you have to pay him back whenever your parents.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever. So it's I think college is not, it's like a big bubble. I don't say that it's like real life, but it helps you prepare for the real world. I think it's super important.
What I want to say, and I say to a lot of friends of mine, athletes or players, and I said, look, you need to understand tennis is your job.
Yeah.
Okay? Tennis is your job. It's like somebody who is like, he's selling whatever, like he's a manager, or he's, let's make it simple, let's make it more of, because they make money, let's make it a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So this real estate agent, he wakes up in the morning, he dresses up and he goes to work. He got 2 emails that somebody is interested in a property, like say I live in Monaco, it's 5 million, the property is 6 million.
Yeah.
So this guy is gonna make a huge profit, you know? Maybe he can make 200,000 making that sale, which is similar to a prize money in tennis, okay?
True.
So imagine this guy, he goes, he takes the clients, he shows this apartment, he shows this house, this. The clients, they say, we are interested, we are coming from there, how it's gonna come, you need to contact the bank, he make all the contacts. He's working 1 week on this project, and finally the client calls and he says, you know what, we looked something else, and finally we're not gonna take the apartment. So he lost the sale.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But his life still go on.
Yeah.
Okay? That doesn't mean that he's gonna come back home to his wife, his girlfriend, his mother, whatever, or his boss in the office is gonna scream to him, or he's gonna be grumpy for 1 week because he lost the sale.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna go tomorrow,
Work again.
and he's gonna work again, and he's gonna grab a new sale with a smile, because that's life.
That's how it works. Yeah, exactly.
So in tennis, if you lose one day, you're so lucky you're gonna play next week.
There's the opportunity of playing
So
literally every week, a tournament every week. So
I just see there is some people which actually admire them, which they played against us with Stefanos. They lost. And I just looked them after their loss when I just had lunch or dinner, and I said, look at them, they just lost. They playing all Uno and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like nice. And then you just see some other people, they just lose. And they just pass, they don't say hello, they're like moody.
you remember Zverev at the airport when he lost to Medvedev 5 sets in Melbourne, and then he was like not speaking to anybody.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
interesting. Interesting. It's very interesting.
I mean, life is short, you know, life is short. Life is all about moments, you know. You're gonna have failures in life, but you're gonna understand where the failure comes from and just try to get better.
Yeah.
If you cannot do this, maybe you shouldn't do professional sport.
I'll tell that to all the, like, for example, younger kids that play
I think,
tennis.
professional sports is not for everybody.
No, 100% no.
It's
No.
not. It's
And
definitely.
it's also professional sports is an option. Professional sports is, I choose to play a professional sport without securing anything. So let me say something. If I go to college and I study something, if I apply for jobs, I'll get a job, right? Professional tennis or professional sports in general, I can go work out I can go play a tournament.
That
I can
doesn't mean-
lose 8, 10 first rounds, and I'm square one. Like I don't have a job. I don't have a job. I don't have like something. Like I get it. You go for another interview, but at some point, the interviews they start working. You know, you get experience with the interviews. With tennis, it's like
Yeah,
if you're not good enough and you don't train enough.
You're not sure it's going to work.
No, it's very uncertain. Anyhow, I tell that to younger kids all the time when they ask me like, well, how do you think about the tour? I tell them, man, you know what? Like tennis is a sport where you have to play many weeks. You want to be good, you got to play 35 weeks a year. Out of the 35 weeks, 25 weeks are going to suck. 25 weeks, you're going to feel like you don't belong there. Then 10 of them, you're going to play good. And out of the 10 that you play good, 4 or 5, if you're not amazing, you're going to do good results.
Yeah,
You know? So it's
true.
how patient you're going to be. I tell that to everyone all the time. I experience
But
it. I've
you-
seen people experiencing
You
it.
got to enjoy the ride.
100%.
If you don't enjoy the grind every day, and this is what I say, and this is something that it fatigued me when you have like always little bit of always the practice is little bit like on attention, you know. You never really do a practice, put 100%, and then have a little bit of a laugh, and there is always like a practice intention, and it's like this is something that I didn't enjoy, you know, like okay, maybe this is my athlete that I was with, but that's the way it is. Maybe there's some other athletes that they have fun. There's some that they have maybe too much fun. We know some of them. It's not my problem. Which I don't know. Maybe in the end of the day, I prefer that.
Yeah.
No.
Everything is a choice. If you want
I
to
don't
have
know.
fun, I like having fun. You like having
Yeah.
fun. It's just like a matter of when you're gonna have your fun. Like I know personally, I know that if I play a match, say if I have a tournament, today's what? It's Wednesday today. If I have a tournament and I play on Saturday, there's no way I go out any of these days. I'll go for dinner. I'll go see my friends, hang out. But I know that I have to get my sleep. I have to get my nutrients. I have to get my lunch, dinner, protein, all that stuff in order to give myself the best chance to perform. That doesn't mean you're gonna perform.
100. Yes.
You
exactly.
give yourself the
exactly.
best chance to
Exactly.
perform.
The best chance.
Exactly.
You're right.
So if I give myself the best chance to perform, I am good with myself if I don't perform. Now, if I don't give myself the best chance and I go out, I don't sleep well, I don't train well, and I'm not good with myself, if I suck, then I'm with myself. So I think that's a principle that I learned in college, and that's why I was one of the few people in my team where before a match I would go 3 hours before the match. I'll go see the physio. I'll go do my mobility, go on the bike, stretch, do all that stuff.
I was quite similar.
Give
Wanna be
myself the
ready.
best chance. Yeah, tennis is a sport you suck many times. I mean, we played now. You started 20 minutes, you couldn't play well. Then you played better. It's different angles. It's a lot of stuff. But if you give yourself the best chance to not suck, you have to be good with yourself. So moving on, just touching briefly a little bit with the Davis Cup. That's where we met in one of the preparation with the Davis Cup team. So you were in the team where the journey to the world stage started, and you, Dimitris, Michalakas, like all these people, we've worked together. I just would like to know how did those weeks with the team were for you, and do you think there's like something that us tennis players can improve, both from those weeks, but after those weeks too, in order to get better? Because what happens is that, for example, before the Davis Cup, we have 2 weeks of preparation twice a year, yes? These 2 weeks of preparation, everyone is 100%. Then they play Davis Cup, they play amazing, and then most of us, after that, a month later, we play a tournament, 2 tournaments, get hurt, out of shape again.
Well, first of all, it's a big honor and extraordinary experience to be a national coach, represent your country, and be on the side with your compatriots to fulfill their dreams and their expectations. You know, so it's been an amazing journey for me. Okay, it was a great challenge. I can say that I had some. All the guys that you were there, it's been a pleasure to work with, and everybody like we had a really nice collaboration altogether.
Good memories too.
Good memories. We had a good collaboration. I think that why for me, after these 4 years that I've been there, I asked to resign is that I just don't see evolution in the development areas of tennis,
Yes.
with developing players. So I think, we were the men's team. We had the men's team, and sometimes we bring in the last. You remember on the last one we had the juniors with us.
Yes.
But for me, as a national coach, I never had a structure, and I never had somebody to send me information about juniors.
Yeah.
So this is our juniors. How we can put them in a program. Send me their coaches, or I go to their coaches and make a structure for them, and see what they're doing, and make a plan, and make camps for the juniors. And we take it from there now that they're 15, 16, and develop them.
Yeah.
It was just about the men's team.
And then if someone gets there, then it's good. They work with you.
Yeah.
But how can we?
And
get,
after
how
you
can
guys
we get there
and
to work
after
with
you guys leave, and I mean, this is not your responsibility to say to me, okay, some of you always like ask me some things, but there was nothing structured to tell me, Chris, we want you, we have this project for you. You're gonna make the periodization for these players. They're gonna be under your control. You're gonna communicate with their fitness trainers, their coaches, and through whole year you're gonna have feedback.
Yeah.
We're gonna give some money, and they will travel to you, or you will come here. We connect them all together and do more camps. So you know, it's exactly what you said. Like, you all came there. We did some really nice training block. Then you played well in Davis Cup. Then you played 1-2 tournaments well, and then somebody got injured because you don't have a plan. And there's so many people that they just do fitness out of an application of telephone.
Yeah.
And sorry, but tennis is such a specific sport that you cannot do fitness from an application on your telephone.
100%.
I mean, it's impossible.
100%.
It's not possible to be in a high level sports and do from a fixed application, which is for everybody that plays tennis. So like an advanced player of ITF cannot be doing the same thing of a challenger or ATP level, no?
Certainly not. No.
It is impossible.
Certainly not. Okay. Moving on, who are you currently working with? Tell us a little bit. I mean, obviously I know. Tell people who you're working with currently, besides your normal clients back in Monaco.
So now, at the moment, I just decided this year to go back after my experience that I had in the full time in the tour. Like, it was a nice experience. Some good moments, some tough moments, but I'm happy that Stefanos is healthy, back playing with injury-free, and I'm wishing the best for him. I think he's a huge talent. I hope he achieved his potential. That in my opinion is top 1, 2, 3 in the world.
Yeah, I agree on
Easily with his
game,
his body type, his physicality, killer instinct, he can be there. So I went back and I work with a horse rider, a show jumper from Monaco. He's a young guy. He's an Olympic hope. He was an Olympic hope for Paris, but unfortunately we had an injury with a horse. So now we're gonna focus the next 4 years to bring him up, and our goal is Los Angeles.
LA, sick. I'd love to go on those Olympics too.
So
I'd love to.
for the moment I'm there, I'm going to work with some young athletes in tennis, like super young, like 12, 13, 14. And I'm going to work with some, one of my good clients that he's really, he's driving WEC Endurance Championship that I've been working with him 5 years now. Mr. Thomas Floor, he's such a good client and such a motivation on at his age to be still trying being a businessman and being a professional racing driver. It's unbelievable. So to tell you the truth, I miss to go back to Monaco and be kind of with normal people, you know, like
with your family too. I mean,
with my family, you know, like my kids are getting older, so I want to spend more time with them, do sports with them.
100%, that's right.
And actually, you know, like I feel that I'm much more productive when I share my knowledge with 10 people a day than with one. You know, I feel I'm much more productive. I like working. I like working 9-10 hours a day. I don't have a problem, you know. It fatigues me more sitting around and do nothing sometimes, you know. Like when is this match days that, you know, like in tennis, you just wait and you playing like third game and there is like, you just woke up from the morning doing nothing and you just do a mobility and just a warm up and you're just standing around all day. This is really killing me. Like,
I was going to explain that because
I can't.
During a day, I remember in Australia, for example, even if it's a day that Stefanos or Petros, they don't have a match, even if you have like a full session to do, that's going to take what? Max 2 hours. Mobility is
Max.
2 hours altogether. They stretch. And then for you, then you just follow us.
Yeah,
on
but
the court.
you remember that I always
remember.
wanted, like when even Stefanos, when I finished with Steph, I said to you guys,
yeah, let's work out. Or
let's work
play
out.
tennis.
Let's
Or
play tennis. Or
I remember
if
we
you
get
come
those
and hit,
sessions.
I will come with you.
Yeah.
Let's do some gym for you, because like I just cannot sit around.
I remember.
It's just against my
Principles.
My principles, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean it makes total sense. It's for me too. I felt like if I was playing, it would be like different. But the fact that I was hitting with Stefanos, Petros, working out with Stefanos, working out with Petros, then working out with you, my day was pretty much like full. But on your perspective, many times you wanted to hit with me or with Petros, but when I had to hit with Stefanos, then with Petros, and then it would be like, okay, we'll have time like 45 minutes maybe before the sun is down, you know? So I really get it, and that's one of the challenges things on the tour, and I really understand that. So that's what I had to ask. Let's go a little bit on the questions. Obviously, there were like so many questions. Thank you so much, guys, for reaching out. We're gonna try to answer the bigger ones or whatever. Give some feedback, and then hopefully have like a short game, and then we're gonna be done with this. So a friend of mine from North Macedonia, Goraz, he asked, what's a basic business, fitness plan and routines for professional tennis players? I feel like we've covered that a lot, like you said, about prevention, 10 minutes, mobility. You said you talked about supplements, you talked about the training. I think we covered pretty much everything. Is there something
I think the most important thing that tennis athletes, they need to focus in is this in-season strength
Very true.
program.
Very true.
So maybe in season they need to put some strength, maybe like low reps, 5, 6, to do some max reps, you know. And like they should never be afraid that if they will do 45 minutes of strength, they will be too tired on the court. Sorry.
We're not gonna be sore. I did that. I've done it. I was actually feeling the best I ever felt when we're doing every
because
day.
you and I prefer the strength before tennis.
Yeah.
Because you're fully engaged and your muscles is fired up.
Yeah.
And if you want to work on your cardio and your endurance, try to do it after your tennis.
Yeah.
So everything that is explosive and strength, in my opinion, prior, and everything that is endurance.
Because you wanna like the prior thing would prepare you, also warm you up for tennis, and then endurance. Okay, makes sense. Okay, we have from Andreas Loizas. How is it possible to have 150% energy 24/7? That's for you.
But I think that's because I love what I'm doing. I definitely love what I'm doing, and when I have people around me that they love what they're doing, and I just see them like I see them like want to learn and they want to be better. It just gives me tons of energy. You know, like when I see people that they really wanna, they're like, you give them something and you see they really do it. I'm like, wow, that's like, it's like I go home and I'm happy. You know, like because I do believe in energy vampires.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you have some people that they're givers,
Some people take.
and some people that they're always calm, they're negative, they find excuses, always the other people's fault. And there is some other people that they just come and they always trying to give their best, without complaining, without like they just always try to learn and just be better every day without complaining, without like, it's like going from failure to failure.
Yeah.
Without losing motivation,
Well,
because life.
You're definitely a giver of energy. I mean, you do drink a lot of coffees during the day too,
I
so
do drink
that
coffees,
helps as
true,
well. Okay.
true.
I got another question from my friend Vasily Karipi. He's from South Africa, tennis player. How do you compare rugby and tennis on the physical and mental part of the game?
Wow. Completely different game, completely different physicality. The rugby is a sport that you really need to be tough. You need to have so many different skills, like people think rugby is just smashing each other, but rugby it's about skills, You need speed.
Yeah.
You need speed, you need agility, you need reaction, you need strength, and you need skill, because when you're running with 20 kilometers an hour and you need to give a spin pass 15 meters away, and you need to disassociate your upper body with your lower body, when somebody is coming there to tackle you and cut you in two,
Yeah.
that's not easy to do.
Yeah, definitely.
When there is a high ball, that the ball is like 45 meters on the sky and it's coming down, and you see the guy charging at you, and you're gonna keep your eyes on the ball and just make sure you're gonna get the ball and you're gonna do the side step to move on. I mean, it's a very, very demanding game.
The mentality sounds different too.
I don't think that you ever gonna play a rugby game and feel perfect.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have pain, little bit of pain, little bit something, little bit. Like in tennis, you feel something, you say, my wrist, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna go to the physio. In rugby, this is normal.
Yeah.
And the mindset of the game is completely different. It's like, I think in rugby, it's like you give everything for your teammate.
Yeah.
In tennis, is an individual sport. If somebody wants to ask about the physicality and the training of rugby, the only thing they need to watch is that maybe you need to go to watch one video on Instagram. I think it's been viral.
Let me check if this is right.
Is the training
Yeah.
that the France that won the gold medal was training with Fiji in Fiji. They were training together. The gold with the silver medalist, they were
Wow.
training together.
Wow.
And then when you're gonna see how the guys have been training on the sand dunes in Fiji, then you will understand when some people in tennis, they say their training is hard.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I played many different sports, okay? I ran, I play rugby, okay? Now the last couple of days I'm here in Greece, I've been playing tennis almost every day. I'm sore. Of course, I don't play any close to the intensity of pros,
yeah.
but for me, the intensity is high. I'm sore, but I'm okay next day.
Yeah.
Next day, I'll do a little bit of mobility, I will do a little bit of gym, I'll do a little bit of, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
At night, to play again after 24 hours, okay?
Rugby's-
But if you guys go today and you do 10 times 100 meters full, all out,
Oh, I know how that feels.
all out.
I know how that feels.
I tell you, ask him as well. Tomorrow, or after tomorrow, when the DOMS hit, you're gonna feel every little muscle on your body. Am I correct?
I remember one time in Australia we did this fitness session where we ran 45 on
Yeah.
and 15 off, 15 times, 15 sets. It felt tiring doing it, and I was like, I finished it. I'm like, okay,
okay.
I'm good. I remember the next day I couldn't bend my back because my hamstrings were so sore and I had no mobility in my back.
We're talking about DOMs like crazy DOMs. You
Yeah.
know, same thing in rugby. Like, I mean, if you do like in rugby, we do a weight session in the morning with some skills, and at night we do practice, and on practice you maybe run 5K on grass with tackles, with full contact, with things like this. And I mean, next day you need to perform again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and mostly when you play rugby sevens, you play maybe if you are a player that is needed in the team. Like I remember, I mean, in a high level, European level with Greece in sevens, I was playing 6 matches in 2 days. I mean, of 14 minutes is exhausting.
Yeah.
Like maybe I run, say, 60 times 100 meters in 2 days in full power with somebody chasing you and tackling you and
Yeah. No, that's
on grass or maybe on a hard pitch or whatever, you know, like.
Yeah. No.
So
very different.
it's very different.
Okay, let's go. So my friend Elena Christofi, she has a bunch of questions, like 5 questions, but we've like pretty much warm up. We've covered, learned by working with Stefanos. We've covered, explain the importance of fitness, preparing your body to play a sport at the top level. We've covered. She's asking about the supplements. Can you briefly just say, for example, before practice, time frame, during practice, after practice, done.
Okay, I will give some just very simple
Yeah,
supplements.
exactly.
I think one of the best supplements to take before practice is 3 supplements. If you take some basic chain amino acids, you take some citrulline
Yes.
and some beta-alanine.
Yes.
Okay,
That's prior.
That's prior.
Okay.
Okay, and prior and during, maybe you can mix some L-carnitine inside,
Yeah.
which can help you. Okay, and give you some extra energy because it helps with the mitochondria, like transferring all the fat cells to the
Yes,
mitochondria
yes,
and
yes.
give you a little bit
Energy.
more long-lasting energy.
Yeah.
During practice, you need to have a good electrolyte with a little bit of carbs.
Yeah.
During, okay. And I think you should take a good protein with some creatine as a recovery.
Within 30 minutes of the tennis.
Maximum 30 minutes.
Maximum 30
Maximum 30 minutes.
Okay. Because I've been sipping mine for the last hour, 45 minutes. I should be done.
And then for recovery, before you sleep, you need to get some good magnesium,
Yes.
good source of magnesium with some glutamine.
Yes.
So this is the basic guideline, but I mean, all of these supplements are quite natural.
Yeah.
They're not gonna harm you, and they're gonna, if you keep a correct protocols. So in the morning to take a good multivitamin, you know, load yourself with a good multivitamin, and take some B complex vitamin, you know, when you're feeling down, you know. But this supplement is the most important you can have. So if you do this, you're quite covered. Then of course, if you start to do like a blood test, and then you
get the
understand,
results,
you get the results, and you understand.
yeah.
But I would recommend that we really need to take 2 to 2.5 grams of protein per kilo of our lean body weight.
Yes. Okay.
If we don't want to catabolize that. So I don't think a lot of these athletes there, they don't understand their metabolic rate. So they're burning a lot of calories, but either they don't replenish them with quality calories. They maybe put a lot of empty and really not quality calories into their body, you know, because like, just to understand, like, I don't understand how it's possible. You see so many people playing so much tennis, but they look like they never did 1 hour of sports.
Yes.
No?
True, very true.
I mean, it's impossible to play 5 hours of tennis and you look overweight. Sorry, for me,
No.
it's impossible, no?
No.
So you're doing something wrong. So maybe I just see myself, I'm burning about 650 calories if I play 1 hour in my intensity and I'm not pro. I'm like just a mediocre amateur. And I just see that people are playing 4 hours tennis a day in a high intensity and they're chubby. I mean, that's not possible. And don't tell me that that's my genetic, because
No,
this
it's
is
not.
completely not true. So, I mean, if you play 4 hours tennis, but then you eat 2 pizzas and 1 burger, you know, and then 2 packs of crisps with a cola, you know, like you just throw everything in the bin, no?
Yeah, makes sense. We have more questions that says like, have you imagined yourself doing something else? I feel like we've covered it. You said about like sports, how you involved through college, then rugby. I mean, could you do it? What's like a job
what
you
I
could have
really
done?
want to do now, and what I'm focusing on, and what I want to do the next couple of years, I really want to do consulting.
Okay.
So
Athletes?
athletes. So
Yeah.
what I want to do is like, and what I'm actually currently doing with some young athletes is that they come to me, and I just do a test to them, and I see their levels,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to put a structure with their current coach that I like to collaborate with and give them a guideline and just maybe give them a little bit of extra motivation.
Okay.
And then see them every 3 weeks, or either I go or they will come. And this is quite interesting for me,
This is
because
very interesting.
this is, I think,
If you imply that, I would be very happy to be part of the program.
yeah, I really like to do like a program like this. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
Okay, I mean, question-wise, I mean, there's more questions, but everything we've answered. I don't want to get much into details of like people are asking, I don't know, all sorts of stuff, like for example, what's the morning like with Steph, or what happened and the contract ran out, stuff like that. I don't want to touch base on that.
Well, like it's always life. I really love Steph. I really learned a lot from him and Apostolos. All these years.
I mean, I
It
think
was
you
a
have to
great
touch.
opportunity for me to learn all these things because it was a challenge for me to take such a successful player.
And you won Monte Carlo Masters 1000.
We won Monte Carlo Masters, but we won other tournaments all these years that I worked with him. So we had great times together.
No, what I gotta say is that, I mean, they're still very good friends. I'm still really good friends with the team. We talk. I mean, I talk with them day in and day out. I speak with Petros almost every day. You speak with them. It's like it's just part of the game, part of life.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just what I say. It's just what I say is professional. I choose to take a different professional part.
No, it's
and
at the end of the
my
day,
professional part is this, and I need to see what is better for me, for my professional career and my family.
Because at the end of the day, you have a wife and 3 kids that you gotta take care of, and
I need to be there for them as well.
I have to mention that your kids are very young. So you being away from home, for example, for 2 months.
They've been asking.
Oh, you don't love it? No, the kids are like they want to grow up with their dad. I remember this because my dad spent a lot of time with me growing up, and that's why I'm so close with him, and my mom at the same time as well. So I really understand on a parent standpoint that you need to be there for your kids.
Of course.
So it makes
it's
total
really
sense.
Important. Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, I have it's a small game. I call it this or that. So you gotta say, I'm gonna give you 2 options. You choose this or that option.
Yeah.
Forehand or backhand?
Forehand.
One-handed backhand or double-handed backhand?
One-handed backhand.
Okay, we're working on it. Clay courts or hard courts?
Clay court.
Okay. Monte Carlo or Vouliagmeni?
Tough one, but I will say I love Vouliagmeni.
Okay. Tennis or rugby?
Ooh, I love rugby.
Okay. So. Horse riding or F1?
Horse riding.
Okay. Pre-workout or protein smoothie?
I'll say protein smoothie because I never really need a pre-workout. I was always 150%.
Okay.
So I need a protein shake
True.
to recover.
Cheat meal or a steak feast?
Steak feast, definitely.
Yeah. Bench press or back squat?
I was pretty good on both of them.
Well, bench press, I have a story in Australia. He did. We were like doing bench press, but like obviously, I mean, I'm not the strongest guy. Stefan's not the strongest guy. Petros not the strongest guy. So we're doing like 70 kilos, and I swear, he told me he started putting weights when he told me spot me, and he did 150. Was it
Yeah.
150 for 5 reps? And I was like pretending I was spotting. Obviously, there's nothing I can do there if you miss that one.
Well, my best bench press when I played rugby was 185 for 6. I don't know why I never tried to do for 1, but I just didn't want to go for 1 because I thought maybe I'm going to tear a pec or something. So I was 180, 185 for 6. And my best squat is 220 full squat.
That's kilos. That's kilos, not pounds. Okay, stretching activation or mobility?
I will say dynamic mobility.
Dynamic mobility. Okay. Now the lastly is I just thought of that. I wrote it. I want you to name the 5 unfittest tennis players on tour. Unfittest.
I think Manarino,
Okay, that's 1.
Gasquet,
Okay, 2.
Kotov,
Kotov. Okay. You gotta say Mikkelsen.
Mikkelsen,
Okay, and then one more.